Some went out to protest and never came home. Some were arrested and never seen again. Families are still searching for answers. Tanzania has descended into a violence that no one was ready to face. The ICC may now be forced to confront.
Begin with matters Tanzania, and the International Criminal Court has been petitioned to probe the Tanzanian government after alleged violence and killings during the October general election.
Today, we unveil the violences after the vote, the cries for justice, the cancellation of national celebration, and the international demand for accountability. When the election results were announced, the country did not celebrate. Instead, thousands took the street across Dar es Salaam, Arusha, Mwanza, Mbeya, and other cities demanding transparency, questioning the credibility of the process, and calling for democratic fairness. But within hours, the protests were met with gunfire, tear gases, and a nearly total shutdown of communication. Internet were cut off, videos were deleted, and the internet was slowed down. In the chaos, families reported missing relatives, unexplained arrests, and bodies that quietly disappeared from the street and hospitals.
To talk about the future of it is about the reforms for a fresh election, that Tanzanians can have an opportunity to elect their leaders. Absolutely, she has no remorse for what has happened. She doesn't care of the number of Tanzanians who have been killed by the security forces under her watch, okay? And this is hurting Tanzanians the more.
What followed was not just unrest. It was a coordinated suppression, one of the darkest chapters of the recent Tanzania history. Human rights groups, opposition leaders, and religious groups painted a chilling picture. People shot at close rank, civilians killed inside their own neighborhood, bodies collected at night, mosques refusing to release information, video confiscated. Opposition sources say 100 were killed, with some claiming numbers far higher than the official count. Whether the exact tally is known or not, one truth is clear. The country was bleeding and many of its victims remain uncounted.
The interpreter tonight is Njoki Shege. Human rights organizations in the country now allege that up to 3,000 people may have been killed in Tanzania in the wake of post-election violence. The groups further warn that many of the victims could have been secretly buried in a mass grave, heightening concerns over a possible cover-up.
During those days, whispers replaced conversation, warning replaced discussion. The country was in fear. As protests continued, hundreds of people, activists, and opposition members were arrested. Some were charged with treason, conspiracy, and inciting violence. Court documents showed large groups of protests facing heavy legal charges, many without meaningful defense. For many Tanzanians, this was not justice. It felt like an attempt to criminalize dissent, to silence anyone who dared to question the post-election violence. Before continuing, I'll invite you to click the link in the description or scan the QR code to have more stories in this link. In a symbolic blow to the country's national identity, the government cancelled the upcoming independence celebration, where once they would have been flags, paraded, music, and communal festivities, yet there was silence. No speeches, no fireworks, no crowd. Instead, the government declared that funds earmarked for celebration will be diverted, rebuilding infrastructure damages during the protest and restoring order. For many citizens, this cancellation was more than a logistical decision. It was a message.
And still in Tanzania, Tanzania has cancelled next month's Independence Day celebrations, slated for December 9th, in a move widely seen as a response to reports of planned nationwide demonstrations against the controversial re-election of President Samia Suluhu Hassan. This development comes as a senior member of the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Senator Jean Shaheen, intensifies calls for an independent international investigation.
A signal that the state considered the unrest so severe, so painful that pride had to give way to festivities and mourning. It was a collective pause, but also a collective wound.
In the meantime, the government of Tanzania has cancelled the upcoming Independence Day celebrations.
Hakutakuwa na sherehe za kuadhimisha hiyo Disemba 5. Na gharama ya fedha ambazo zilikuwa zitumike kwenye sherehe ameelekeza ziende kutengeneza miundombinu hii iliyoharibika.
The cancellation comes as intense mobilization for a planned protest by citizens on the same day continued online. In the meantime, the government has begun releasing some of the over 300 people who were arrested and charged with treason during the elections.
This decision resonated deeply across Tanzanian society. Family grieving missing loved ones, checking morgues in hospitals, community fearful for their safety and future, a generation of young people seeing their voices silenced not only by bullets but by erasure of their national celebration. Independence Day, a day many Tanzanians associated with hope, progress and unity, became instead a reminder of losses, injustice and unanswered questions. Then came the turning point. A coalition of lawyers, human rights defenders, and international associations submitted a detailed petition to the International Criminal Court. They demand a full investigation into alleged crimes against humanity, including murder, torture, disappearances, targeting of minorities, excessive use of forces, destruction of poverty, and state-backed intimidation.
The ICC headquarters, where they submitted a petition urging the court, of which Tanzania has been a member since 2002, to investigate violence and killings during and after the recent election.
The petition argued that the scale of violence is too large and too deeply rooted to be handled internally, so only international oversight can deliver a real justice and credible accountability. This move shocked East Africa.
Petition filed on November 13th by Madrid-based lawyer Juan Carlos Guterres cited Article 15.2 of the Roman Statute. It accused the president, her intelligence director, Dar es Salaam's police commander, and a senior army general of command responsibility under Article 28. The document seen by KTN was tabled by ICC Deputy Prosecutor Nazat Shamim Khan, a Fijian diplomat and former judge. At the heart of the allegations, crimes against humanity.
For the first time in modern Tanzania politics, the ICC was formally asked to intervene.
The International Criminal Court has been petitioned to probe the Tanzanian government after alleged violence and killings during the October general election. The Madrid Bar Association, together with several human rights groups, are urging the ICC prosecutor to open a formal investigation into what they describe as state-engineered assault on civilians, including murder, extermination, torture.
Suddenly, the world was watching.
Abductions and killings of opposition leaders, which have sparked fears of a compromised electoral process.
Tanzania election in 2025 creates a worrying trend in the region, a worrying trend that an opposition leader can be arrested, jailed, and trial goes on to elections. A worrying trend that any foreigner that wants to travel to the country for trial observation, for solidarity, can be arrested, can be prevented from coming into the country.
This crisis is not just about violence. It's about the future of a nation seen as a pillar of stability in the region. If the allegations are true, families deserve truth, survivors deserve justice, victims deserve recognition.
Overwhelmed by emotion, the family of John Okoth Ogutu broke down as they met with human rights advocates to press for swift intervention that will compel the Tanzanian government to release the body of their loved one who was killed in the neighboring country.
Mr. President, please come out and assist us. We need to put a closure to this as a family. We are tortured emotionally.
And if the ICC opened full investigation, it could reshape full Tanzania accountability for decades to come. This story isn't just about politics. It's about human lives, democratic rights and national identity, and the fight against impunity. The cancellation of the Independence Day is more than a missing celebration. It's a symbol of pain or fear of a generation silenced.
Tanzania has cancelled Independence Day celebrations next month after calls for protest over mass killings during recent contested polls. The funds meant for the event on December 9th will instead be spent on rebuilding infrastructure damage in last month's election unrest, according to Prime Minister Mwigulu Nchemba.
But also potentially a turning point, an opportunity for justice, memory, healing and hope. At the end, the truth always resurfaced, maybe painfully, maybe slowly, but it always resurfaced. And today, Tanzania stands at a crossroad. One path leads to silence, fear, and forgotten victims. The other leads to accountability, healing, and justice. If you're watching this video, you're part of the choice, your voice matters. Tell me in comments, should the ICC formally investigate Tanzania post-election violence? Why or not? Like this video, share it, and help the world hear what many Tanzania reads nowadays. Subscribe for many deep investigation stories across Africa. Because awareness is already an act of justice. See you next time for more stories. Don't forget to download our app Kunta or click the link under the description to have more stories in the same like. See you soon.